What's going on? It's Justeeni here, and today we got some more Guess the ELO. This time we've got Barter versus Aquarion on a small continent. This is going to be pretty interesting. I think I'm actually not sure how the dynamics are in small continent. I feel like Aquarion's favored, but let's see what happens in this game. So, normal opening, going towards the resources, that's always good. We go with the triple warrior. We're going for the lighthouse, which, I mean, it's okay, I guess. I can't hate on it. Organization, that's fine. And, yep, lighthouse. And we could rush out a quick giant if we go early math. We go for fishing, which we bought a little too soon, but it's inconsequential here. But yeah, fishing makes sense. Going for a lot of workshops. We go for a port already. Maybe we're trying to steal something. We just see that the opponent's Aquarion, so I wouldn't go early naval, but I guess we are. I don't know. Or, I mean, forestry's good. Explore, we have sailing, so explore is fine, actually. And we get some nice info. We see that we might be completely screwed if we don't take these runes. This one, we can actually reach if we put the warrior here. So this one we need to take ASAP. If you're against Aquarion and you're going for early naval like this, you need to take the runes. If you don't, you're screwed. Because they just get free cities and they win the game. So, okay, we've got a head start to this runes, which is huge. I don't agree with hitting this warrior, just because they're just going to take the runes anyway, and if they have any supporting units, now they can kill your warrior. As opposed to if you don't hit and just train a warrior, then you can do things a little better and not lose your warrior. Okay, we do a little dash dancing. Ooh, okay. This is something that might change the dynamic a lot here. We have bridge spots. A lot of bridge spots. Like, oh my goodness. Because the best out that you can have in this matchup is bridge spots. Because Aquarion's biggest weakness is really two things. Rider roads and archers with roads. Basically, roads are Aquarion's weakness. And more specifically on continents, bridges. And you have a ton of spots, which you should absolutely be taking advantage of. Getting roads to connect your cities anyway, since you can actually get Grand Bazaar if you do that, should be the play. I'm kind of a little unsure about navigation. How much did it cost? 16 stars? Okay. That's actually not too bad. So you can get away with it here. That's totally fair. So they've got the waterways. That's fine. I don't know why we're not just going for the starfish right away. We want to get that ROI, like, ASAP. But I suppose it doesn't hinder it. Strategy. I don't know about strategy. Rider roads is definitely the move here. Like, we can try for naval dominance, but I think the issue is going to be that it's pretty expensive, and we can leverage this massive eco play first with like the roads, and also, you know, have all these and just attack them on land anyway. Like roads does it all, really. Like, it gives you the eco, it's going to give you your giants, and it's going to give you routes to attack on land. You can pick up strategy later if you really wants to, but rider roads first, 100%. Because like, if you fight them on water, like, sure, you have naval dominance right now, and you might even be able to keep it for some time, but it's going to be expensive to maintain. You're not going to be able to get any giants if you're really trying to keep it up. Whereas Aquarion will have no problem getting crabs, unless their spawn is like abysmal or something. Which, yeah, they should be able to get crabs there. I don't know. They go for a border growth, which always concerns me. Seeing border growth on the capital is never a good sign. But the barter player's doing decent. Please tell me you chop all your forests. because yeah, this is also another issue with not getting right of roads, is it's harder to defend any weak spots like this that we can't reach with our naval superiority. We went like all the way in the train. Like, we are going all in on the naval. Again, that's not a method I agree with, especially since now, when Aquarion gets a city, they get Grand Bazaar. Now they will actually get their crab despite the border growth. And maybe actually our naval dominance will mean nothing, and then we'll somehow lose the game, despite the fact that we had a huge advantage to work with. Wait, we didn't chop. Okay. That gives me a pretty big clue, I guess. Yeah, we just decided we're too good to chop. Yeah, now we just gave them a crab. There's Park of Fortune. Border growth again. Either there's really good aqua farms or the Aquarion player sucks. One of the two. That is good that we're keeping them off this Ocean Ruins. We get rioting finally. It's a little late because, you know, we've lost this city and we can no longer get Grand Bazaar. But rioting is still good here. Oh, I just realized this border growth actually stops the bridge. I mean, this bridge isn't relevant though, it's these two. I also just realized that we can't bridge here anymore because they took the city. And if we had gone riding roads before, we might have been able to do something about that. We go for roads and then we accomplish... Oh wait, no, this actually connects here. Does that accomplish something? Okay, we get population growth, that's good. Was that worth it for just one level up? Why not, like, train some riders? Or even make some more units. We get 1 extra star per turn, effectively, by doing that. Is that one? And like, 1 star per turn, like, oh, but that, no, it doesn't actually add up in the long term, because we're gonna level up the city anyway. So it's really, we get 1 extra star, period. But instead of doing that, we could have not bought roads, which would have cost 14. So that was our entire turns of economy, which we could have spent on maybe like 10 of it on units, maybe even more than 10, and still been able to make this play and then some next turn. I feel like being able to make use of some more units this turn would be a lot better, both in the short and the long term, than that 1 extra star that you just got there. Like, again, we spent 20 stars to do this, which the roads are a long-term benefit. We're going to get roads anyway, but we can hold off for a turn because the immediate benefit is just not there. We might actually struggle quite a bit in the water now because of that. I have no idea why they decided to hit with the shark second. That makes absolutely no sense. These have surprise. That means that you should attack with them if you're not going to kill. But even despite that poor micro, Aquarion is actually going to start to get some foothold in the water now. Kind of because they are Aquarion, and also because, like, you gave them a chance. But we get the Giant now, we get Gate of Power. Oh, ew. Really? Okay, here's the thing with monument use. I can't wait to make that monument guide, because here's a great example of, like, not quite, because the idea is there. I want to get a giant, but we don't have to use 2 monuments to get a giant. If we look at this position here, we can place a monument here plus this, and that's a giant. You know, we're 4 population away from the giant. So with a monument, we're now only 1, we get the giant. Here, we're 5 population away. Oh, look at that, 4-3 monument, we get a giant there as well. So 2 monuments plus a little extra, we get 2 giants, versus 2 monuments, we get 1 giant. Keep in mind also, we level up 4 city, we level up 4 times this way versus only twice this way. So there's also that benefit. Like, the extra star spent really is not going to matter in the end, because we're getting it right back. But when you... That's the thing with monuments, is you want to try to make them as efficient as possible. 1 monument, getting 1 giant, is the best you can ever ask for. If you ever have that kind of opportunity to get 1 monument and 1 giant out of it, absolutely do that. This play, double monument here, is always it's always a desperation play. It's the last thing you want to do in any position. Like, if you didn't have these other options, sure, might as well use the monuments to get something out of them instead of nothing. Like, it's better than nothing. It's not a complete waste of the monuments, but it's suboptimal use of them for sure, because we use 2 monuments to get only 1 giant. And what hurts even more, actually, is that we didn't need any monuments to get a giant here if we got math, because we can get the lumber hut. That brings us 4 pop away, and then this is a level 4 sawmill. So I guess in some ways this monument placement is actually nearly useless, because math is not actually that much of a long shot, especially since it can be pretty helpful for our capital, I think. Actually, no, it's not helpful for our capital, but it is helpful for this city. And it actually is helpful for this one as well, because like Sawmill Port. So math is definitely a play. Which means the monuments like this are not it. No. That's way too much. There's a good shark use. Okay. They're getting the siege. Now, you should definitely unsiege that. Gross. Okay. This is a big thing with, like, order with attacking. It does matter a lot. While the rammer does not take any retaliation damage when it kills, you actually want to hit with it anyway. Let me use a different color for this. You want to stay with it anyway, because then it won't move onto the unit that it kills. And then the scout can kill afterwards. It also allows you to train another unit, but it keeps your rammer there and keeps it as a rammer. Because when you kill with the rammer, it goes on land and is no longer a rammer, which means you just lost 5 stars. Whereas instead, you could have just hit it and taken, how much retaliation? 2? Oh, 4. Oh yeah, because it's got... Yeah, these have 2 defense, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually. So you would have an 11 HP rammer versus effectively, you save 3 stars, but now you have a 0 HP rammer, which I don't think is worth saving 3 stars for. I'm not gonna lie. That is worth it, though, attacking with the scout and killing with the rammer there, though, because, well, it stays as a rammer. And that, too. But that one there... Yeah, I'm curious how this game is going to go, because Aquarion is up in cities, and they are just simply in a good spot, but this is still anyone's game. Especially since Aquarion has not placed their Gate of Power yet. We're doing our thing. Ramming it up. We decided that's a good play. The ROI is actually pretty fast, and this game is going to last a pretty long time. Ooh, archery. I like it, because we actually get some nice defense boosts. And archers are going to be really nice here against Aquarion. Okay, I'm really curious as to why they didn't... okay, they're saving the shark for there. Is that worth it? Maybe? Oh yeah, the defense boost on there, that's actually pretty neat with the rammer earlier. Okay, there's the Gate of Power. We get that from the ruins. Pop growth is actually good because now math does give a giant. Oh wow, we just barely kill. Hey, it works out. And that's actually pretty huge because now that's one less super unit to deal with. They do chip away at your bomber now, and I feel like if Aquarion stops trying so hard to attack this city and just focuses on general naval dominance, especially just training some amphibians in the back, they should be good to go, but I feel like that's not going to happen. And Barter here should be, yeah, making some rammers, trying to keep this bomber alive, probably send it back and heal it. Bombers are very expensive, but they actually can be pretty useful if they can stick in this matchup. And just kind of keep your giants around. Keep making archers. This is a very nice wall here. I quite like this. And yeah, make some defenders. We could chop this force to make an archer. I don't know why we aren't, because we wanted to chop this anyway when we get math in the or I guess it's but if we get math in the future, and even if we don't, we still want to chop this, because like, where are we getting the extra population? If we're capturing a city, we're already winning the game most likely at that point. Yeah, they should not be trying to siege here. It's not worth it, because now this bomber is going to just get value. Although we're actually going to heal it, which honestly I think is fair, because it needs to heal to deal more damage. Oh wait, that was a forest back there. I thought that was a lumber hut. Oh yeah, I retract everything I said before. Yeah, no, I thought that was a lumber hut. Okay, so yeah, you just get the giant there. That's pretty neato. Again, Aquarian, what are you doing? Like, they've got the bomber and everything. These are 8-star units you're using to siege, plus sending all this in to die. Like, Aquarian's basically spending their entire turn's eco accomplishing what? Basically nothing. So, at this point, you should win no problem. Just chip away at their stuff, because you're going to gain an advantage in the long term, despite having the city disadvantage, because Aquarian doesn't know what they're doing. I'm not sure if I fully agree with climbing. I guess it's okay. I don't think it was worth it just to move on there. What is Aquarian doing? Okay, I'm just going to rush through things at this point, because I feel like this game's going to go in a very predictable way. We're just going to keep defending, and then suddenly out of nowhere, we're going to be up a ton of stars because we're making extremely efficient trades. We're going to overwhelm the opponent out of nowhere, despite having the city disadvantage this entire game. And Aquarian suddenly, oh, I'm low on units. How did this happen? They're spamming sharks every turn. They're literally dumping all of their economy into nothing. And then it looks like the Aquarian player just quits because they are completely dead lost, and that's the game. This was it wasn't terrible. It wasn't like, this was definitely not like high elo. Like, there's no way this is over like 1500. But I mean, the micro, there was some decent micro, and there were some good decisions there. Some questionable ones as well, but there weren't any like absolutely horrendous decisions, so this isn't low elo gameplay either. I'm led to believe maybe like somewhere in the ballpark of like 1300 to 1400, somewhere there. I might say just right in the middle, 1350. And actually no, I'm feeling generous. I'll say 1400. Oh, I would have been right there with 1352. I should have gone with my gut, but I was very close with that one. So I'll cut to the next one. Okay, this one is Glory on Small Conti. It's Small Conti, so you're probably not gonna see the point threshold decide the game, though it could. Polaris versus Zymanti is pretty interesting. I think Zymanti is just favored, plain and simple, especially on continents, but anything could happen, I guess. We'll see what happens. So, we don't go with Lighthouse opening. I guess that is fine. I think either one works, honestly, like Lighthouse or not. I'm not too sure. I like going for Lighthouse with non-turn zeros, but whatever floats your boat. Hunting here is good. I absolutely agree with it. So, everything right now seems solid. We're gonna level up and then probably make another warrior if I were to guess. Oh, yeah, look at that. Okay. Organization does nothing here. We could have trained like a warrior, maybe 2 warriors, like one on our capital as well. Now we get resource ruins, which we're just gonna use to level up all our cities. And at this point, we could consider 4-stream math, because we get riding roads. No. Yeah, no. This is a thing that I've picked up a lot. You can really tell how good a player is based on how they use their resource ruins. Because more often than not, those will give you big opportunities but I rarely see, like, even like novice or even some like experienced players. Like, I only see like really good players actually capitalize on these properly, because resource runes are insanely good. And right here, like, you get Agami here. How expensive is that? Like 23 plus, so 32, 37, which sounds really expensive until you realize we're at 21 stars right now. So we're getting our first Gami in 2 turns. Then we get Park of Fortune. Then we're getting more Gamis. And our economy actually goes pretty insane at that point. You know? Like, yeah, we'll have 34 stars next turn. So we can even spam some warriors and go for the Math Rush. And that team is really strong. But like going Rider Roads, it's 17 stars. And then what's the follow-up? Get another Resource Ruins? We should not be relying on that. Like, it could happen, but even if we do get the Resource Ruins, like, if we went and first off just went for a non-committal play, just making 2 warriors and doing nothing, that sets us up better for a good Ruins result than really anything else. This is so committal. And also, we're not using roads this turn. We're not capturing any cities this turn. Why are we buying roads? Again, it's so committal. Why are we committing right now? We have all these stars. It seems enticing to spend them, but don't. Do not. Because yeah, now we get a Vet Sword, and now we're gonna cry because we just spent a ton of stars getting nothing out of them. When we got, again, Resource Ruin is an insane boost. Like, oftentimes at competitive levels, it is decisive. It is that good. It'll, like, it can straight up win the game if you get one early. But like, yeah, this guy got an early Resource Ruins. Could you tell? Like, if you don't look at their tech tree, you wouldn't be able to tell. Which is really concerning, because that means it has no effect to the opponent. It has no effect to them right now. It's only going to matter later, and there's going to be a lot of diminishing returns. What on earth? What on earth? Okay. Are you serious? See, it makes me like a little more frustrated that he actually gets rewarded for making the misplay I was talking about earlier. Like this terrible idea of going for roads early. Because now he makes a bridge and he kills their shaman that they just put there for no reason. Man, what a good play to go for roads here. See, Justeeni, you're so stupid. Why didn't you see this play? Like, dude, are you serious? Okay. Yeah, it'd be even funnier if they didn't even see that. Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. This is the kind of game we're witnessing. They placed the road here, right? Yeah. That's even funnier. They were so close. They just had to make the bridge there and then just kill the shaman. But no. Archery. Yeah, let's get archery. Okay, I know where this is going. I know exactly where this is going. Holy. We can still make a bridge play, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, this plus a 2 HP warrior does actually kill. You have to place an extra road now, but you can still kill it. Are we gonna do it? I would be shocked if we did, because it's even harder to see now. And yeah, we didn't do it, by the way. We captured the city. And we're gonna level it up for them, nice. You know, naturally. Let's help the opponent before we give away the city, because let's not pretend that we're gonna pop a Gami here. With what? Forestry? You know, which we should have bought earlier. You know, or Monument. Also, if they block any of these forests, then we can't Gami push. Like, get real. We can still kill the shaman, by the way. Now it's a little different. We place the bridge here. But, yeah, and we have to place an extra road because this road is on a forest. But, like, that's only an 8-star play to kill their shaman. And also, we probably want to get forestry here to just chop everything. Which is why we should not have upgraded this city, because then it would be even more harmful when we chop. We do like getting the explorer anyway, but just harvest the fruit and then chop everything else, including the animals, and call it a day. Okay, so we're not going to kill their shaman for the 20 billionth time in a row, and we're going to get ice archers, which, fun fact here, are way worse than riders. Are you really going to freeze a hexapod and tell me that it was better than killing it? Like, what are you freezing on Semanti's end? Oh my goodness, insane value. This was worth buying a 12-star attack for, you know. I think it was 10 stars at the time, but my point still stands. Of course we border growth. Why wouldn't we border growth? You know, we really wanted to get that. I'm sorry, I'm really disheartened at what I'm looking at. But why are we getting a border growth here? I guess forestry is a giant anyway, whether we border growth or not. We're just making it more expensive for ourselves. Unless, like, we go math, then cool, we get 2 gummies. Are we gonna go math now? We decided we're too good to get it early and we're just gonna get it later when it's more expensive and doesn't have as much of a benefit because the whole benefit is eco, which matters more early on. We kind of need more units. We get climbing because, yeah, that's why we get climbing. You know, the gameplay really speaks for itself here, and I suppose this was the idea with Ice Archers. It was to not utilize our riders at all, not take advantage of their vulnerable shaman, but instead to break all the ice and just freeze everything. Not killing it, by the way, just freezing it. Like, when you freeze a unit, you don't actually accomplish much. It just stalls them a little bit and uses the action of your unit. So, like, yeah. Okay, we have gate of power now. That's... Is Park actually worth it here? Because I know I do say a lot. I mean, I don't say it a lot on this channel, but like I've said it before. Daigamis are pretty bad in terms of super units, so sometimes it is actually worth getting a Park. I'm actually not sure if this is one of the cases, but I feel like it's worth pointing out that you have no units, so you probably should be getting units, and you should probably also be making ice. And a Gami is pretty good at making ice to make connections, because if you make a Gami and you support it well here, it's going to be way better than a Park. It just is. Like, I don't know. Especially since we already have roads. Like, usually when, like, Park over Gami is better is when you're, like, playing an Arky and Mooney spam can kind of suffice and you don't want to buy Polarism and stuff, but, like, yeah. If the Gami gets the movement bonus, it's actually pretty good. But we're gonna Park spam. Oh, this is a glory game. That, again, that is worth pointing out, but, like, I think we're a little far away from winning the glory game, but don't tell me that's how we win. Don't tell me that's why we're getting the border growths as well. These border growths are so bad. That border growth was less bad because we at least like have some algae, but this is still a bad border growth. Just get the centipede. Organization is a centipede. This feels like sub 1000 ELO gameplay. Just straight up. It's disgraceful. Unsubscribe. No, that was a joke. No, please do not unsubscribe. Alright, we're gonna buy math and place the sawmill, and yeah, that's that. We're gonna let ourselves be attacked. We're gonna not train enough units still. Okay. Can you just get one Gami, man? Just one. You know, we're probably gonna win anyway, but that's not because these plays are good, it's because the opponent's plays are bad. Yeah, I'm frightened at the fact that we're probably going to win this because the opponent isn't trying to punish at all. Well, maybe they're trying to, but they're not doing a good job at it. Look at this. They're going parks as well. Oh, and Scimanti's actually ahead in score because they're up in cities and likely up in vision as well. So this is gonna... Holy moly. At least this makes for some good clickbait. We're getting trade, you know, naturally in a point race, we're gonna get trade, the best tech for point racing. You know, we get the Ice Bank, which gives 0 points and costs 20 stars. It does actually have a decent ROI, so it's not terrible here in general, but I just think it's funny that they got a bunch of parks and then felt the need to get an Ice Bank. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to see a game like this ever again. Like... I'm at a loss for words. Like, they're defending. They're not defending very efficiently, but the Scimanti player is attacking so unbelievably inefficiently that it doesn't matter. Like, you know, they sent the Reichi here, and they never thought, oh, I should explode one to make some algae and then spam a bunch of X-Bots and win the game. You know, that'd be too easy. I mean, it's probably because they put their Shaman here and they don't want it to be vulnerable. I don't think they're thinking that at all. They're probably not thinking at all. But it just takes one algae bridge connection and then spam hexapods. And that's like a really cheap way to attack too, so it's like extra good because it's efficient, which I feel is like a naughty word nowadays with Guess the Elo. Efficiency is not in the average Polytopia player's vocabulary. I mean, I guess it's kind of in this guy's vocabulary except for the incredible amount of road use. And the need to use Ice Archers, which they were not worth it. You can tell yourself all you want that these Ice Archer plays are incredible, but they're not. They're not. You could have just used Riders and just not broken your ice connections and, you know, used Gamis and killed their Shaman way earlier, and they have barely any units and you could have actually attacked them. But it's gonna be this kind of game. But we suddenly are able to attack as soon as we make ice connections. That's crazy. Who would have guessed? We're also buying... well, Philo actually makes sense because we're really close to winning the game with point rushing, except the opponent's also really close to winning the game with point rushing, so pressuring is actually more important than point rushing. Are we gonna mind bend their Shaman? If you sent this game to Guess the Elo just because of, ooh, haha, I mind-bent their shaman, epic clickbait, Justeeni's gonna love this. No, I hate you. Hate is a strong word, and I mean it. Okay, for legal reasons, I should disclose that I do not actually hate you. Please do not unsubscribe. But if you want to make me happy on Guess the Elo, do not do what this guy is doing. Like, I mean, it's okay to make funny plays, but like, back it up with something. Like, we got their shaman, which is like cool. Like, this turn itself is cool in isolation, but if you look at the context of the situation, it's not very cool anymore. It's pretty uncool. And we're not friends. And are we gonna take their capital? Okay, we're not. Also, there have been no super units this entire game. It's turn 26. I don't think we're gonna see any super units this entire game. I want to check something real quick. Okay, no, they could not have won the game that turn. I think it would have been extremely ironic if that Centipede lost in the game, because they were actually really close to winning. What did I witness, though? Also, remember when I said, like, oh yeah, like, the whole, like, lure thing's probably not gonna be relevant? I'm very displeased to say that, unfortunately, it was. And man, that was terrible. That was so bad. Oh my goodness. What the heck? I'm assuming you did not subject a random to this torture, and you're playing with your friend, and you both just like to have fun playing the game, which, if that is the case, I have no idea why you decided to then send this game to Guess the Elo when you two were just messing around, you know, having a good time, being casuals at the game, and enjoying just actually having fun, you know. I miss those days, but I don't know why you would send your game to Guess the Elo if you just want to have fun, you know? I'm gonna say 900. And yeah, just 900. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub. And have a good one.